we are making Stacy's Frisbees. So I'm putting that piece of plastic inside of the thermoformer, clamping it down. I'm bringing our oven over to heat the plastic. Starting our timer. It's gonna go for about 7 minutes. So it's got 2 cycles on our timer. But our timer only goes out to about 5 minutes. So in the meantime, we're just waiting for our plastic to get very pliable so we can get a nice vacuum on our mold, which is underneath here. All right, so we got 1 cycle where we have the plastic ready. So we're gonna hit our timer again. We'll go through another cycle. That'll give us about 7 minutes of heat time. All right, so as you can tell, the plastic is a couple inches away from the mold. So we're good to go. We're gonna move the oven away. Get over here. I'm gonna raise up the mold. I'm gonna lower down the jig fixture, but to help make a good seal. I'm gonna open up the vacuum, and it's very quick. If you hear that sucking sound, it made a nice form around the mold. Close the vacuum, raise up the top jig. As you can tell, we've got a nice molded Frisbee. But now I gotta cool it down. If I don't cool it down, it'll stick to the mold and it'll make the Frisbee will be deformed. So gotta lower down the mold. So there we go. We got a nice molded Frisbee. I gotta put this fixture in. See how it's nice and loose? It's because the plastic is pliable. I'm gonna cut it down to size. And now I'm gonna put it on our conveyor. Not running. Is it running?
From here, the part will run down the conveyor to the trim cell. The sensors are turning on the motors and turning them off afterwards. We've got a camera up top that will sense if there's a good part or a bad part. If it's a bad part, the part will run off to an offshoot. From here, we'll pick up our molded Frisbee and we'll set it into the trim cell. Make sure it's secure, seated down as far as possible. We step out of the light curtain. We'll switch this to auto and hit the button to start the robot. The robot comes down, approaches, turns its spindle on, and then it starts running in a circle all the way around to cut that extra molded plastic out. As it reaches down to the first point, it will just barely touch the plastic. It then ramps down to its full cutting depth over a 90-degree turn, and then it will run an additional circle back to that full depth point, so it's a flat edge all the way around. We've got the robot running at the speed that it is, so that it will cut the plastic cleanly, and it won't leave any residue or chips attached to the Frisbee as it comes out. So now we just have to wait for it to run all the way around. So right about now, it's getting closer to that first starting point. So this is where it's going to come back to that first starting point at the full depth of the cut. And then it will continue to cut back around to that 90-degree turn so that we get a full depth cut all the way around that Frisbee. There, the plastic just broke off. So now it's not a part of the Frisbee anymore, but we still have to cut to make sure the edge is even all the way around. At this point, it's finished its cut. It raises up so the spindle can turn off. The robot returns to its home position, so then we can rotate the table again. Now we're going to set it into manual so the robot does not run again. but the table will spin. We hit the button, it turns around. Okay, so from here we can come in, remove the extra excess plastic. We can take this out. We can remove the mold from the Frisbee, where we can set it down to be hung up. We then take our extra pieces, we set them on the conveyor to run down. It runs on this F-rat, which will turn it to the next conveyors, where it will then run down the system. This is our outfeed conveyor, so from here, we can take our finished part. This is our finished Frisbee. And we'll take our excess cutoff, and we'll go throw it in the bin over here. Thank you for watching our presentation. This is the TIMS 2 2025 project. As it goes up and up and up and up and up.